Oh yeah. Well, aren't I a silly sod? Hey YouTube, welcome back to the most amateur model railway channel on YouTube. Just going to do a little bit of an overview of the layout update. Starting with underlay really. It's probably the biggest update I've done since the last one, I think. Apart from adding some bits of track, but we'll go through that. But today we're going to look at some locos and what sort of eras I'm going to be covering on the Medway Valley Line. Now, before I climb underneath the layout to do a little bit of a filming session and a quick time lapse with my seamless editing, just a quick couple of shout outs. First of all to Sam at Emperor's Path on YouTube and at Emperor's_Path on Instagram for shouting me out on his model rail replacement podcast. Took me completely by surprise when I heard it. Blown away. Thank you so much. Very grateful. My other shout out goes to 00 Duo on YouTube. 00_Duo_, if I remember rightly, on Instagram. Gaz and Ivy shouted me out on one of their videos not too long ago as well. So credit to you guys. Thank you very much. Go and check them out. Lovely little garage layout. Loads of lovely locos. BR Blue being a big one, but some big rakes, and they're just having a really good time, and just gone DCC as well, so they're going to be hitting up big too. So go check them out as well. But thank you to both of you guys for the shout out for me. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. .6mm cork underlay down across the entire layout, every single bit. Just gonna have quite a few sidings, the fiddle yard over that side, and I just, instead of doing the specifically undercut, I just did the whole lot. That way I can build up, I can cut down and get some recesses to get some ballast downs to get those nice V shapes, and it just, for me, it's just a lot more workable. It might be a little bit more work, I don't know whichever way you want to look at it, but for me, I prefer the fact that the whole thing will be done. Then I can, move the track around and into position, and there's not really I don't need to really measure out and cut circles and bits and pieces like that. So for me personally, that was the best way to go, and that's what I've done. So that's all solidly down. I've got, I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe 85% of all the track. This series, I suppose I can go into more detail now. So this corner here, the bottom left, as I'm looking at it now, this is going to be Maidstone West train station. It does, the profile of the real life station doesn't curve like a 90-degree there, but hey, this is a model railway layout that I don't quite have enough of a curve. I needed that shape of a curve to get it round on the board. So that's going to be slightly fictitious there, but we're still going to work with it. So we're going to have the inside platform, the outside platform on this side, and coming off of this set will be obviously coming around the back of that platform there. So that'd be one side in there. Maidstone has the signal box here, and it has siding up the side, and it has siding on the inside of the two main lines. So that will all come, that will be built, and they will be there. It's going to be a lot of scenic action going on through there too. Everything here is going to be built upwards, because the Medway Valley Line is actually very flat. There's not a lot of hills, not a lot of inclines on the whole line, so everything's pretty flat. There is a slight incline going into Maidstone Barracks, which is going to be up there, but it's going to be flat on this layout. But all the scenery, all the platforms, everything's going to be built upwards. You might have seen on some of my shorts or on Instagram, I had a little tunnel which I just knocked together. Not a final piece, but so that's the sort of thing that's going to happen. Everything will be built up, and leading out, we're going to have obviously turnouts here, cross between the two lines, and then Maidstone Barracks will be built up before the scenic cut to go into the next scene. That's going to be the main focal point of my layout. This whole section, it's 3.6 meters, and it's going to be basically scenery from end to end. It is going to be a lot of work to do. I know, but it's going to be worth it. If I can get it to look as it does in my head, it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited for it. There's not a lot of train lines that go through there, but everything that builds around it, I think, is what's going to make it look fantastic. So yeah, that's what's happening in this section here. So I still need to purchase the sidings, bits of track and pieces that for this part here. All the turnouts, all the points, whichever way you want to call them, are all Electro Frog. They are going to be motorized on this layout. So that in the next big build of this, once I actually finalize the track, is going to be wiring, electrics, and another reason why I wanted to cork everything, because there are at this moment in time 13 points. There might be 15 because I may well have to put a curved turnout to join the two main lines over in that corner there. I haven't look. My plan for the field yard, just one entrance, one exit, because running EMUs, those who don't run these EMUs, they're not the easiest thing to just take on and off the track. They're usually heavy at one end and or in the middle, and the motor for the motors. And then like they're very fiddly. There's lots of delicate bits and pieces. The little drawbars, they're not easy to just take on and off the track. So I didn't really want to take many of them on and off the track at all times. So I wanted to have enough lanes that I can park them and then bring them in and out as and when I want to, and maneuver around, and then set up my macros for how I want them to run around the circuit. Over after Maidstone Barracks is going to be Allington ARC. So there's going to be lots of trees, very high, very tall trees, scenic background, all the way to the left-hand curve there. That's where it comes in and branches off. It's going to be obviously the two lines there, just in real life, to park the wagons. And we're going to have the little warehouse, I suppose it's the best way to call it. It's this kind of collarbone roofing type of thing. That's going to be up there for freight work for the aggregates. The back part of that section over there is going to be on the foreground there. You can see is going to be where the fiddle yard is going to be. 4 lanes is going to be in there, so I can park 4 EMUs in there. Plus I'm going to have the 2 on this side, which I'll be able to get an EPB, just a 2-car, and I need to extend it slightly, but there's going to be a 4-car on the left there. And basically the freight will be kept up at Allington up the top there. There'll be one on the go all the time, but those I'll be able to interchange, and the steam locos I'll be able to interchange as well. So that is my plan for the Medway Valley Line here, my home. Now let's have a look at some of the eras and some of the locos that I'll be running. So the earliest era I'm wanting to run on here, I want to do multiple eras. I don't want to just stick to just one. Predominantly it is going to be Network Southeast. There's no two ways about it. That is my absolute go-to. Love it, love it, love it, love it. That is all about I'm about. But I wanted to go back earlier because I fell in love with these 2 locomotives that ran on the Medway Valley Line, and obviously early EMUs. I was like, well, why would I pass up that opportunity? And locomotives like the diesels, they've just got to be a part of it anyway. So I'm going to try and interchange. I mean, most of the scenic stuff doesn't really matter when it comes to timelines, does it really? The stations and labelling it and the signages and stuff, I'm going to try my hardest to make it interchangeable and have different bits and pieces so that I can set up, do some filming and stuff, some shorts and bits and pieces in a certain timeline. And then change it back, that sort of thing. That's my plan anyway. How easy that's going to be, I don't know, but I'm going to give it a red hot go. So this is what I've got at the moment. This is my 1960s setup. So we've got the C-Class, the Wainwright C-Class, which was a freight locomotive, but at the end of the steam lives in the 60s, 61, 62, 63, until they were scrapped, withdrawn, they were used to help with freight, with passenger. They were running small passenger trains between Tunbridge and Maidstone West before the electrification, the third rail came in. So there is plenty, and in my little book, plenty, absolutely plenty of pictures and images of these running with passenger trains and with freight and bits and pieces like that. So at the end of the day, yes, it's a model railway. Yes, it's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. But for me personally, my challenge to myself was I wanted to run what ran on this line as close to I could get it. Basically, that's just part of the fun. I like that. That's the challenge. That's cool. I really like that. So I have a C-Class Wainwright steam loco here. I have 2 of the push-pull carriages, and somebody did mention in comment on YouTube that this wouldn't have had the push-pull, but I've got images and there is lots of stuff online of them putting this exact set 616, which was given to the Southern Line for this region. It was used on the fruit pickers, the fruit hoppers, to move people around, and it was just used probably not as a push-pull. Like I think it would just detach and then just run around the other end and then just put it the other way. But it is pictured, and I have got lots and lots and lots of history of it put in this, so I wanted to have it, and there it is. I've got it. I will be running it. The Q1, obviously, if you've seen my Q1 video, you know that I love this locomotive. Love it. She's mainly going to be putting some freight for me. I've got one of the old brake vans with the SCCRs. I love that. That just brings back a bit of history. So not something that's going to be, I'll probably just fade it out with a bit of weathering, but that's really, really cool. But I want to get some blood and custard carriages for it as well, maybe even some Mansell ones, or there's some brand new bullied ones that are coming out. That would be superb. So something like that, just to run with it, just to run around the layout with some coaches now and again. But she predominantly is just going to be doing some freight on here for me in this era. What's up next? We've got the 411. So 411, they were built 1956 to 1963. They were third rail for predominantly the Eastcott to start with anyway, the Kent Coast electrified line. They used to run down as a 12-car unit from London to Strood, and then 8 cars would carry on and go down the coast, and 4 cars would then go to Maidstone West, which was third rail electrified in 1939. The 411s obviously were the later of the EMUs of that era anyway, because it used to be that the 2 HALs would do that, or the SORs or CORs, or whatever was running before those. 1953, the EPBs, the class 416, used to run the Medway Valley Line to Maidstone West from Strood. So obviously I've had to have one of those as well, and they're in the southern region. Southern Railways green. I just think they're beautiful, just like that oldie worldie. I think they're just absolutely stunning. So we're keeping that livery going as well. So and then obviously I have a class 33 at Compton. I purchased this when I got into this hobby again last year, July. I bought it when I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I just loved it, loved the colour. Was like, I've got to have one because the 33s are. And so yeah, I purchased this one here at a really good price, and it's going to feature in here. I'm gonna livery up into a D number. It's 33103 now. It's going to be a D number. I'm going to put the white stripe on it and get the British Railway stickers, the decals to go on it. But obviously that came out 1962, something like that, early 1960s, and was running. It was purposely built for the Southern Railways region. Running freight, doing everything and everything and anything, push pulls, TCs, anything and anything, helping in the snow. The snow that used to happen in the south coast. They would go and pull out and help give extra traction to the EMUs. So yeah, that is the 33 is going to have a big focus. It's going to have some big attention in this layout. I'd love to get some more. I want to get different liveries, the Dutch, the BR Blue, and we'll see. I've got to do the layout first, but because I keep buying locos, this is always a problem. I keep buying locos, and they're fully finished the layout first, and I keep promising myself to do it. Do the electrics, do the wiring, do the electrics, do the wiring before you buy more locos. Because as anyone knows, these are quite expensive in a 4-car range. Yeah, that's I think that's that for the 1960s. Let's move on and have a look at what else I've got. Era 8. 1986 to 1994. This is my bread and butter. This is the slam door era. This is my childhood nostalgia. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And I've been very fortunate and very lucky that most of the stuff that I want to run in this era is in a ready to run form. And here's a few of them here. So first up in front of you here, the newest addition to my fleet, the Class 411 in London and South East livery. This one's sound fitted. This is the first sound fitted loco I've ever had in my entire life. How am I going to go back now? Wow, wow, it is superb. So good. It's changed my life. I'm gonna have to go sound fitted from now on, aren't I? Like, my poor bank balance. Ouch. It is gonna be so good. That is just phenomenal. I love that thing. Wow. I mean, yeah, sitting there watching, standing on my dad's shoulders, or sitting on my dad's shoulders looking over the bridge at Tunbridge Road there in Maidstone West and seeing them come round, and now to have this here in my home on my layout, it's just, yeah, so good. Really happy with it. To accompany that, I've got a 4VEP, yes, by Hornby. This came in the Southwest Trains livery, but I've repainted it into NSE. And funnily enough, after I've done that, and it's not quite finished, there's no decals on it yet, but then Hornby released, they're going to be re-releasing the new tooling and having the Network South East one. So I think I'm going to have another one running around the circuit as well. That will come later in the year, eh? I have in the blue and grey, which is a lot earlier. This is actually the 4BEP, so it's the buffet car. It's so it's more of the 70s thing. Look, I wanted the 411. This came up at a steal of a price, and I'm a sucker for a bargain, as you might already know. Sucker for a bargain, and grabbed that. I was running it around on my smaller layout as a 3 car. I might do the same on this, but I'm trying to keep them as 4s. So I'm looking out on eBay to see if I can get a car on its own, just a carriage car. So if anyone's got one, just hit me up. But we'll see what happens there. It's going to be the early 80s sort of thing. I want to get some decals for it as well, for the Network South East to go on the side of the carriages, because when they took over, they did that first before they painted them into the full livery. I think that's going to look really well, because I really love the blue and grey. It is just a fantastic British Railways livery, so I want to keep that. But we'll see what goes. I've done a bit of weathering on it, just with some accent colours, the black, and grimed it up a little bit, so it looks a bit older and a bit more grey, been around a bit sort of thing, and it was just the look I was going for. There's a great picture of it at Dover in a station, just as a 4-car BEP as well, and it was filthy, and I was like, wow, I want mine to look like that. So I'll try and get it like that. As the 2-car unit at the back here, I've got the 4142 HAP in the Network South East livery. Again, another Bachmann. Fantastic tooling as well. I love this car. It is fantastic. Love it. It is absolutely brilliant to look going around. You know, I'm building this layout for 4 cars, but the little 2 cars running around are mint. Love them. So that'll be running around as well. And this diesel for this era, the 73, third rail obviously, and then with a diesel in there as well, so it can do both. This is a Lima tooling, so this is old. Got it off eBay. It's been hardwired with a decoder. It is phenomenal. I love it. Anyone that's got a Lima, they'll know that it's quite loud. It's quite loud. It sounds quite old and loud and outdated and that, but even just the detail on it, it's got a beautiful exec livery on it. These exec livery 73s ran around the Medway Valley Line quite a lot in the 80s and the 90s, so it fits in perfectly. But this one, if you can see that, City of Portsmouth. So this one is actually quite close to home for me, because quite close to my heart, because I lived in Portsmouth for 4 years. Met my wife in Portsmouth, and that obviously changed my life for the better, obviously. So yeah, this I had to have it. It just fit me. It fits the layout. It fits what I'm doing perfectly. So I love it. And the nice thing is as well, if I'm right in saying this, I believe that the body shell itself will fit the Hornby 73 mechanism. So as and when this does die, or if it does, I think I can just save the body shell and just put it straight onto it. I believe so anyway. So longevity. So yeah, so I haven't made it filthy because I don't want this one to be filthy. I've just filled in some of the grills and done a bit of grime and a bit of weathering on the bogies themselves. But yeah, I love that sort of thing. I love this. So this will definitely be running around putting some freight. So you'll see this quite a bit as well. But there we go. That is my loco fleet at this moment in time for my Era 8. It is going to grow because there is another 4VEP joining when they're released later on. I want to get another 411 in the network Southeast as well. Definitely south-fitted, definitely, to add on as well. So probably going to be 4 running at the same time, 3 running around with a freight loco as well. And it's a good thing is with Maidstone West, you know, with the 3 lines, I'll be able to park 2 and have a freight or whatever coming through the middle there. So it should look really, really cool. I'm really excited for showcasing these when I've got some scenics on here anyway. So yeah, there we go. That's what we've got at this moment in time for Era 8 Network Southeast. Watch this space because this one's probably going to grow the biggest. I think that'll about do it for today. I think it's quite a long video. Thank you for watching up to this point. I really appreciate it. I've got a series called Caught Somewhere in Time, where that's basically my running videos. I just run locomotives around, different camera angles on the layouts, try and put them into some sort of year or era or location or something like that. Just a bit of fun and just running specific locos around. So I hope you're enjoying those. I suppose for now I'll just say thanks for watching, and I'll see you whenever I do another one. See, look at them. This is so cool. So good. So good.